Good afternoon and welcome to GrainTV. It's January 29th, 2013. To my left is Logan Burgess and I'm Brock. We had a mixed trade in Chicago. Let's turn it over to Firetip to see what happened. Corn was up only 1/4 cent. Soybeans up 4 1/4. Wheat up 2 3/4 in Kansas City, and Chicago was up 2 3/4 as well. If you guys out there want to take a look at some live quotes, head over to Grain Hedge for a no obligation free trial. You know, Logan, did seem like we saw a mixed trade today. We tried to trade at either side of unchanged for a while, and really in corn on the daily chart we really went up and met some more technical resistance.
Yeah, certainly some important technical levels were found today. For the long-term trend, we've been watching this bear trend line here. If we draw a trend line from the highs back in August and then once again using the highs in November, you can see that right now we're kind of bumping our head against it right now. The trade's really looking for direction after the USDA report really propelled this corn market back up to meet that trend line. So where are we going to go from here? Well, we're going to need some more fundamentals to really give us some direction here. Is that going to come by way of the EIA ethanol numbers tomorrow or the export sales report Thursday? We're going to have to wait and see on that. But the bottom line in today's trade, we were talking about it this morning on the morning grain call. 734 is a very important price level to watch on that March contract. We tested it 3 out of 4 days just here about a week ago, and it seems like we found a lot of selling pressure there. So that could be an area that's going to be hard for corn to get over. If we're able to move up through there, especially with conviction, it's going to give this corn chart a very different look and feel.
You know, that is really a tough technical resistance area that we haven't been able to get past. You know, it's going to take some more fundamental news, like you were saying, to get us past that. I don't think it's really going to come from the ethanol sector or the export sector. Right. We've seen both of those areas running well behind what we need to be doing to meet current USDA projections. So I don't think we're going to see that in the next couple weeks or so.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. One thing that's remained critically important, especially to the soybean crop, has been weather out of South America. Brock, can you kind of break down what we've seen there or what the changing projections are right now?
You know, it is kind of dry right down in northern Argentina and southern Brazil right now. But if you take a look at what we're looking for this weekend, as we move throughout the end of the week, Thursday into Friday, Friday into Saturday, you can see that we are having better prospects for better precipitation for that northern Argentina, southern Brazil areas. If we do have a pretty significant rainfall or beneficial rains through those areas over the weekend, we could see some of the weather premium that has been building into the market actually get sucked back out of the market. So we could see a little bit of a sell-off if we have beneficial rains over the weekends for South America.
Yeah, Brock, we'll have to, I guess, wait and see on the precipitation out of South America. Another thing, though, that people were talking about a lot today as it pertains to wheat here was the dry conditions throughout much of the Great Plains right now. We did have a report come out yesterday from the field offices in Oklahoma and Kansas of the USDA and really laid out the dismal state right now of this hard red winter wheat crop at the moment. Right now, taking a look at Kansas here, what we did on this chart here, we basically laid out the yield and we compared that to the January good to excellent rating, which is shown here on the right axis. So we have yield on the left axis, January good to excellent rating on the right axis, and how are those two related? Well, as you can see here, in general, there is some correlation between the good to excellent rating in January and the final production out of this crop. Right now, we're looking at 20% of this Kansas crop rated good to excellent. That implies a yield of 31 bushels per acre out of this crop, certainly below what we saw last year. If we turn our attention here to Oklahoma, even in more dire straits down there in Oklahoma, right now 5% of this crop is rated good. Not a single percent is rated excellent. And right now, using the data just from the last 5 years here, so it's not a huge sample set, but we're looking for, or this suggests, a yield of about 18 bushels per acre. Certainly we saw back in 2009 and 2011 when we had very poor January good to excellent ratings out of this crop. Yield took a serious hit on final production, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Bottom line, especially west of the Mississippi right now, we need some rain.
You know, I'm kind of surprised at the subsoil moisture levels and moisture content across the country. If you take a look at this map here provided by Planalytics, you can see the actual soil moisture capacities. There's quite a dichotomy in those two areas. Right. The western part of the growing region, west of the Mississippi, you can really see that we're in pretty dire straits right now, as we've continued to be over much of the winter, in the single digits for soil moisture capacity. But going east of the Mississippi, you can see that we're at near saturated levels, 100%, 90% in much of the greater part of the eastern corn belt. Right. So that's a couple areas that we're going to have to really pay attention to as we move into our planting season here in just a couple months.
Yeah, you know, if we don't get rain here, what we're seeing right now in wheat, the real concern over that crop certainly could move into the corn and soybean market. So that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on. Talking from producers out in Illinois and Indiana, though, over the last couple of days, sounds like things really have improved quite a bit there. Bottom line, though, we still need some rain, especially out in areas of western Iowa, Nebraska, and Kansas, as we said before. But we'll keep you posted on all the developments here affecting the grain markets on GrainTV. As we mentioned earlier in the show, we do have EIA ethanol numbers coming out tomorrow and then export sales on Thursday. So keep posted for updates on both of those fronts. But I think that kind of wraps up our show here for Tuesday afternoon. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.